this needs to happen now. Like, families are being uprooted now.
They already have their mind made up. They're like, oh, well, whatever you say doesn't matter to me because I already made up my mind.
Do you think that, like, developers, like, targeting people of color, do you think it's because, like, they feel more powerful than us?
This is not development that's going to be equal across the board and support those whom are already in the area. It's a removal of those who are already in place. It's an attack on homes. It's an attack on families. It's an attack on kids, their futures, the stability. Like I said before, this is a domino effect that I personally have seen.
Welcome to our second episode here on the Community Powered ATX podcast. My name is Mari Gutierrez, and I'm here with my co-host, Genesis Hernandez. And we do have a very special, lovely guest, my mother. So her name, I'll let you introduce yourself.
My name is Marina Martinez.
Yeah, just to start off, tell me a bit about yourself and what do you do?
I am a mother to many kiddos that I've watched grow through the East Side area, and I have found myself working with community work and learned to advocate for issues in our community. Watching the kids as well involved in the community has really taught me how to speak on issues that are very important.
So what was one of the reasons for, like, why did you come to Austin?
For a better chance on providing as a young parent. So better opportunities for myself and for my kids.
Since you moved to Austin, have you enjoyed any parts of Austin?
We have really enjoyed the East area, learning a lot about the East Austin. This has been the area where the kids have gone to schools. Cousins have come up and also gotten to learn the areas and got to go to some of the schools here. So definitely engaged in community growth.
So how has displacement impacted you and your family?
Displacement has came pretty hard, very uncertain, unknowing, and put us in a position where we had to leave quite fast. And again, when you have family that's dependent on you as parents, that trickles. And I've seen the effects not only for ourselves as adults, but I've seen the effects on the kids as well. And I've also seen it in the neighborhoods. So it has not been a good experience.
So, me, some of my siblings have kind of been into community organizing. We're a little bit more in tune with advocating, being a part of BOLED, diving a little bit into Community Powered Community Powered ATX. How did you get into community organizing?
Speaking on issues that we were going through at the time. So the lived experience, shared experiences, daily work, hearing community on the opposite side of me, talking about the experiences they're going through, and having that understanding that this is a bigger picture. It's impacting a lot more than I feel people are aware to. And it was important to keep bringing that to the attention to certain areas when I could. So learning where to speak, how to speak, who to ask the questions to. As a family that went through displacement with gentrification, there is a lot of information that's provided on supports that should be in place to help a family as they're going through this. And in my experience, there was nothing. So it was constantly in that moment of trying to reach out, going to community meetings, speaking with council, asking questions. There was no resolution.
Yeah, no, I totally understand as far as like all the hoops and stuff you have to go through, all the networks and kind of people you have to come across in order just to be heard. I did want to ask, since you did say that you went to community meetings, what were some of your experiences speaking? I mean, personally, I've seen you get very emotional, because it tends to happen like to a lot of people, especially mothers, just fearing what's going to happen like for their children, or much less just thinking about how it could affect other parents, much less single parents. But what were some of your experiences as far as going through all that?
I would say very timid at first, listening to a lot of people having discussions that were even more than just the actual families being uprooted and families having to find a place of where their next step is going to be and how that would happen in such a short amount of time. And then constantly hearing these projections of plans in like 10 years from now. In that moment, hearing all this, it just was very bothersome to be able to wait and think like this needs to happen now. Like families are being uprooted now. Families have been uprooted since before our personal experience. And it is an emotional situation to go through. It's a time where you try to stay as focused as you can be, but there's so much moving parts and uncertainty. It impacts how the information is conveyed and if you're really being heard. You know, are they listening to you, or they're just looking at this emotional piece and it's not relevant because there's nothing factual coming out, which seems contradictory because the emotion should be itself. Like, this is a fact of piece.
No, yeah, I do agree with that in a sense, because the few times I went to City Hall to speak out on like certain topics that they're having, it's kind of like a waste of our time in a sense, because they already have their mind made up. So like going in there and you're like, okay, you're hoping you can like sway Fuentes or Natasha's mind, and then halfway through they're like, oh, well, whatever you say doesn't matter to me because I already made up my mind. And
I definitely heard that comment.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure a lot of people have from Natasha. Like she's like, whatever you say doesn't matter. We already have our mindset. This is what we're gonna do.
And it's discouraging. It's discouraging because it makes you feel like, as you stated, you know, a waste of time. You're going to these people of some bigger form of a power to make change, a bigger form of authority to enact change, to put policies in place to help their community and their constituents, and they're not listening. You know, it's like you're being shut down. People do get loud. People do have probably emotion break as they try to collect themselves. I know I have myself. And to hear that and feel it, and then you're trying to go and speak on the same similar struggles, it's hard to know that is what we're doing gonna make an impact, or is what we're doing gonna get somebody to open up an eye and listen, because this is still going on and it's going to continue going on, because those that we are talking to who have a form of power to change policies, to put things in place, are not doing it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Next part is just talk a little bit about home. In 2023, 2024, you spoke out against home. For those who don't know what home is, it is a policy to upzone Austin, but there's no affordability, so it allows developers to make money and displace communities. In a sense, just kind of like maximizing profits off small lots to build triplexes or little small spaces that single families can't live. In my opinion, it's basically like 2018's Code Next, except on steroids, rewritten to a sense that a community can't understand.
Yeah. And then when your communities are given these quick, informative pieces of this change is going to take place, I mean, how much information were those communities given to have a chance to go and speak up on this change, to challenge what these developers are getting provided first upper hand dibs to. I mean, this is a profit over people's living. This is a place where, you know, like you said, it's maximizing profit on development for one side. This is not development that's going to be equal across the board and support those whom are already in the area. It's a removal of those who are already in place. It's an attack on homes. It's an attack on families. It's an attack on kids, their futures, the stability. Like I said before, this is a domino effect that I personally have seen. It impacts your ability to stay focused in a workplace while you're trying to handle the duties of balancing what comes next as a parent.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I did want to backtrack a little bit to kind of, you know, bring everybody's heightened emotions up a little down. In our previous episode, I kind of talked about what are some places in Austin that made it feel like home growing up. And I brought up Roy Guerrero. Roy Guerrero was the park we went to.
So many memories.
Yeah,
Yes.
you brought us to, like, as kids. First time I learned how to drive. First time we took our dog out there. First time Miley rode her bike, et cetera, et cetera. Do you have a place specifically that kind of was like home in a sense?
Yeah, the homes.
And you can't say family. Sorry.
The homes that I watched y'all grow up in, you know. I mean, we were there, like I said, for so long. So the changes from one school to another, the outings that we had at the home, the sense of the community there. So, you know, neighbors, engagement, you know, when you get to have those relationships in times that things hit hard, like the pandemic, I mean, we were relying on each other, you know, and there was no like separation there, you know. It was neighbors, our elders. I mean, we were there providing for them as we could. Like, if I was able to go get water somewhere because there was shut down pipes, things were busted during the ice things, like we were able to take care of each other and like pass that to another neighbor and know, like, hey, we're here.
I still remember I used to make tortillas and give them out in a neighborhood.
Yeah, and like, and they enjoyed it, you know. That's a sense of community and
togetherness,
relationship and support, and, you know, finding that in the schools for y'all when, you know, things needed to be in one direction or another. And I just think when families have to leave out of their own will due to this high cost of living, or developers targeting, you know, minorities in areas where they have no other choice because they're not owners, they're renters, or the owners cannot afford what might be back taxed due to a high increase. You know, there's so many different pieces of can happen in these areas. They lose that sense, you know. They lose that stability and that root of community.
Yeah, I did want to ask another one. I don't know if you had any questions, Genesis.
I have a question.
Yeah, add it.
So I was just wondering, like, do you think that, like, developers, like, targeting people of color, do you think because, like, it's because, like, they feel more powerful than us, or, like, what's your statement? Like, what do you think of that?
I think it's a lack of transparency in what their plans are and who it's going to benefit. Again, if you have elders who have been in an area for a long time, are they aware of what's being done? Have they had a chance to speak up and say, like, hey, I'm on a fixed income, I'm retired, this is the money that I've worked for through all these years supports my living that I've been accustomed to for so long because this has been my home for years. It's definitely different margins when you think about our income, what sets income. It's a lower bracket income versus developers who have a lot more money to throw in and invest and have people investing with them just to have a quicker profit. I definitely think it's an attack on those who have.
No, yeah, I definitely agree with that. And there's also kind of like, in a way, who is easier to exploit? You know, the people who don't speak English, as my mom said, the older people who really don't know what's going on anymore. I mean,
who's advocating for them.
Yeah,
you know?
like single,
who's informing them.
like single, like living people by themselves stuff. I was just gonna say, what is one of your favorite, like, what is one of your like happy memories that pop up since we've been living here in Austin?
A lot of our times at the parks when we would just go and kind of venture some of the trails and seeing like the deer, you know, after a rainy day and they'd pop out, or you know, just your like habitat that you see that you take for granted because you don't see that anymore, you know, in these areas. Even like working at a park. Remember when we would go and we'd pour like corn and like get ready so that we'd be like, oh, next time we come, they'll come and like we'll be seeing the deer eat some corn. I mean, I don't know if that's like the best thing to do, but it was
Guys, now y'all know why I'm always outside. It was this lady right here.
Yeah.
Definitely got me in tune with being appreciative of nature and stuff.
Well, I have another question.
Yeah, go ahead and ask it.
I'm so sorry. So like I was just wondering, do you like that like your children like Madi, like being outside, like interacting with people, like interacting with like the communities? Do you enjoy that?
I am very proud of that. I think again that because of the steps that they were able to partake in, like with that Madi meeting. And I'll never forget, I was driving home from work one time on a weekend, and there was a function going on Allison Elementary in the park. And it was amazing music. And it was a gathering, and I dropped off the groceries real quick, and I was like, come on, let's get in the car. We're going to go to the park. And we went to the park, and we met Miss Susanna, and the kids were younger, and Madi was maybe 7th, going into her 8th. It was that
like
summer.
13, 14.
And so I got pictures of Madi with this headdress, and I was like,
No
look,
way,
cultura,
what?
this is our culture, like embracing your roots, learning more about Susanna's roots and engaging, you know, individuals to appreciate your history and understand and
Just
learning
stuff like that.
learning a lot on the east side, because again, you know, we'd been here for a while, but there was a lot we didn't really know, you know, even with the school that's on Metropolis and learning some of the history there, and then some of the churches. It was really nice to see that opportunity, and that opportunity just transferred from one kiddo domino to the other. And so a lot of community involvement, community volunteering, and that got me more exposed to like what this looks like, being involved with the community. But I mean, hats off, Madi's done amazing jobs. Her siblings have participated very well. She has brothers as well that have taken walks and stood with, you know, some good leadership roles. And I think that those are good skills to offer our youth in the community.
Being so quiet. Oh my God. I'm an empath. Stop.
I think it's amazing. I love it. I mean, I talk about it all the time. Like it's an amazing skill set.
And it also works. I think it works vice versa. Like as far as like us being, you know, kids or young adults and stuff like that. Like, I guess the biggest thing is like making our parents proud, letting them know like, oh yeah, they made the right decisions and stuff like that. Especially you like coming to Austin, I feel like was definitely a good call. So.
For some better opportunities, of course. Better opportunities, of course. And again, I think that you're only a kid for so long, you know, and everything that you see and that you experience, that kind of helps shape what kind of young adult you'll turn into and like a path you'll take. And so I think y'all's advocacy and your relationships with your community and speaking with elders, of course, it just shows the generation like they are watching and they are paying attention. And these are newer voices. So when changes need to be done, if we can't depend on the people in place now, as sad as it is, to enact proper change because it's needed and it's negatively impacting our community in so many different areas, these new voices.
No, yeah, I definitely agree. You organized with Community Powered and spoke out against certain topics. What was that like? Like as far as like learning to organize or gather information yourself, like What were
It's-
like obstacles, or what were some things that you kind of felt as something doing it by yourself in a sense?
I think it still can be a little intimidating because I feel like there's so much that I don't know. So being mindful and open and aware of seeing how others are applying their information or obtaining information or asking questions, or where they're getting involved at. You know, where are they going? What meetings are they listening to? What information, again, are they picking up from the community? Because this is all relative. So when you're listening to one meeting in one part of the city that's impacting homelessness or somebody who's struggling in some mental health or something, you know, you think about, again, what other struggles are they dealing with? What other areas have they been impacted by? And again, if you don't have a home, if you're unhoused, if you're facing displacement, if you're going through some very struggles, some big obstacles, I can see, again, this is just a cycle. And again, I feel bringing those issues to council is the important piece that I feel like, again, is not being heard.
No, I totally agree. I feel like I agree with all your statements. Not just because you're my mom, but truly because I truly agree. I remember the last question. What are some advice you would give to people who kind of went through what you went through? Like, it's their first time going through it. What would kind of be like some of key things which you've known yourself?
I think I was very fortunate in having some support with some community here in the Metropolis area. Again, as you're aware, you know, reaching out to Poder's affiliates, you know, Mr. Elias, who's now with, I believe, a neighborhood council, and asking questions to others that I've met throughout the city. So just kind of asking a lot of questions, because people have asked me, how did you get this information? And it's like constant asking questions, and it can be overwhelming. So as a single parent, I'm not a single parent, but I could see as a single parent how that could be more stressful. You know, I was fortunate and blessed to not have a baby in Pampers while having to go through that position. I couldn't imagine what that would have been like for me, because that would have been more stressful. You know, like, how do you maintain a job? How do you have a baby going through that kind of displacement and still try to get help somewhere? You know, like, what resources do you really reach on when everybody is kind of like, oh, there's supposed to be stuff here, but there's nothing in place. So there's no direct pipeline to those supports in place. And I think that's what needs to be fixed as well.
Once again, I agree. Well, that is it for today. So thank you, Mom, for coming out.
You.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I don't know, Genesis, would you like to close off?
Okay.
For today?
How? Sorry. Well, thank you for tuning in this Community Powered ATX podcast. We'll see you once again. See you.
Thank you.
Something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.